Hey, good morning, everybody. It is March 12, 10, a little after 10 in the morning. It's been a minute since I've recorded. I've been out here a while, a few times. Valentina was out here a day, and we've been working on some stuff, but I haven't been recording. It's actually been kind of nice just to take a couple days off from doing anything of that sort. And I've been feeling sick, so I took yesterday off and just didn't even come out. I've reached a point at which I'm a little bit overwhelmed because all of a sudden I had everything in control and I was doing things that I could do, and now I've reached that point that now I need plumber and electrician back out here to do things, and so now I'm subject to when they're available. Got the washer and dryer delivered a couple days ago, and we were excited because we actually paid for the installation, so we knew we didn't have to do anything. Well, part of the installation is we were supposed to have the utilities already hooked up because they have to take pictures and video that everything's working when they leave. Well, I don't have any of that stuff hooked up, so they immediately were able to get out of doing anything. They attempted to put all this together, and they said they were going to do what they could, but they wouldn't be able to hook me up. Well, the problem is they didn't really think things through, and now this is an enormous heavy thing, and you can't push it up and around this corner and back in there. And the problem is, I'll try to show you. So we have cords in hot water, cold water, and we can't reach it over there while this stuff is here. Well, this is connected. So what they should have done was not put the dryer on yet and left it disconnected and slid the washing machine in there. And then we could have hooked the power cord for this to the wall, and we could have hooked the water to the wall. And we could have kept it off the wall a little bit, so there's enough room for a person to get back there to do all that hooking up. And then two people out front can pick up this dryer and place it up here. And then the person behind can go ahead and attach them together and attach all the dryer stuff, and then climb up and over and come out, and then we can push it all the way in. It's not ideal, but this is a very small house, and we should have moved this bathroom stuff, all this, I guess, a little bit more, but honestly, everything's really tight. We didn't really have any room to give up in here. If we would have come over even just 1 or 2 inches, though, it would have made this a bit easier, but I don't think it would have made it so much easier that it would have made a difference. It's not like we could get around it or anything like that. Anyway, that's where we're at with the washer and dryer. I'm pretty overwhelmed with it. I also need the plumber to help me with it too. He's a fairly small guy, as far as I can barely even squeeze through here. So either he can help me when the water's ready, or he's the plumber, he can help me, or Bren can help me. Diego's volunteered to help me, but Bren is the smallest out of us all, and he would be able to clear up and over this pretty well. So that's something we still have to do. Oh, and also, I didn't even point this out. All the walls got cleaned. Valentina cleaned all the walls and grouted all the floor and the walls, and sealed everything where the washer and dryer was going to go, because we thought it was going to go in there. So we were in a hurry and we got it all sealed down there. But now we can't seal this part because this stuff's in the way. Anyway, I'm a little bit overwhelmed with that right now. Next thing is, I was going to put some trim on here. Oh, Valentina painted this green. We were going to do a matte white to go with the ceiling, but it blended in too much and didn't really showcase anything. So we're really happy we switched to the green, and it'll tie to the door and all that stuff. So she still has to kind of come down here and finish this corner. But I have to put trim now around, and my door was sunk in too much. So when the drywall guys put drywall, it was sticking out. And if I put my trim, there was this much of a gap between my trim because it was flat in here, so it didn't look right. So now I'm trimming this down to be able to put my trim. So that some of this drywall sheetrock is going to be only about half thin, half thick, like this. But Valentina told me, she's like, well, instead of taking the whole thing out like I started, just take the corner off and hopefully it'll kind of, well, as much as I can anyway, to make it kind of match. But it doesn't really work. This worked better because this side didn't poke out as much as well as up top. It didn't poke out as much. Over here was really a different story. So I got to work on that. All right, so this wood stove's in. I showed you guys that, and I've burned a few times in it. And I don't think I've talked to you guys since I decided to seal it. I decided to put the sealant at the, not here, well, yeah, I did here too, in here, and there, a couple of spots. I did not do it all the way at the top because that pipe goes up inside the fitting, so you're not really sealing anything. But here and here and here and all this, I decided I'll seal it because I read that it's, everybody says you don't, a lot of people say you don't have to do it with a single wall pipe, and that it's not necessary because everything slides in together. Well, maybe in a perfect world, but one person mentioned that they had a draft problem with inside their stove, and when they sealed it, it helped. Well, I thought I was having a hard time. When I closed my door, the fire would go out, and the billow of smoke, and it would struggle to burn. Well, after I sealed this, the next day I burned, and it was like night and day. It's so necessary to have your seams filled so it's not pulling in air and wrecking the draft. So now it's causing the damper to now work, and it's able to pull in and go up, versus it was pulling in here and pulling in here. So it was creating something going on in here where it wasn't able to fuel it. So now it works great, and it burns a long time, and it just works. So I'm so happy that I sealed that. I've got more stuff done over here. So I took this piece. We wanted this to flow, or Valentina did. It didn't really matter to me, but she wanted this piece to go like this instead of this piece going right here. She just thought it looked better going like this. So I had a piece of trim that I was able to put over the end of it. I clamped this together, glued it together, and then I wanted to use the dowels inside, but my dowels weren't lining up, and it just didn't work very well. They all went together, but the one piece was higher than the other. So I took them all out, redid it, and just took 3 pieces of board and underneath and screwed them up underneath. Now it's held together. I installed this. It's not all the way. It's left open for the plumber to mess around with. We got our garbage disposal here and everything pulled in. I didn't really film it much, but I supported the sink. And when Valentina got here, she was looking at it where I was showing those clamps. I don't know if you guys saw those clamps. They're metal pieces, and then you insert these white things into the wood. Screw goes in there, supposed to screw and spread it out and then hold it. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. Hopefully you saw the last video and you know what I'm talking about. Well, I siliconed them all because when I tightened the screw, it was pulling the white things back out. It didn't help to silicone it. I was trying to tighten them the next day and see if it holds. It didn't hold. Then Valentina had a no-brainer idea, and she's just like, just use the same screws that I've been putting the floor down with and do those. So I did 2 per every one of those things, and it's fantastic. I mean, that worked really well. Everything's set up here now, ready for the plumber. This thing, I created this thing to hold up the end of the butcher block. So Valentina just painted this side. That's the only part that you're going to see. So when we're ready, I could just put everything, fridge and everything in there right now, but the plumber's going to probably most likely have to pull this dishwasher out and get to the back of it because it's not all hooked together yet. Put that together, then we can squeeze that in. And we decided we don't even need to really tie that to the butcher block or to the floor or anything. It can freestand and just hold it because the refrigerator is going to be smashed right up against it. Is that we were going to make this an island with this butcher block sitting on these two cabinets, and we thought we might have to buy another cabinet, and we discussed things back and forth, round and round, tried different solutions. I want it to function as an island that you can eat around. Valentina wants it to function as a dining room table and doesn't care if it functions as a island. So what we're going to do is maybe split the difference a little bit. I don't know, or just go with her idea. We went to Home Depot and we bought a few things a couple days ago, and I got some 4x4s that I'm just going to make the legs on this. And it's going to go down below these countertops. I think that doesn't look good. I think it looks better if it's even with the countertops. Valentina doesn't think so. So we're probably going to lower it a little bit to a comfortable dining room height. But then it strictly ends up being basically just a table to eat at. It can't function so much as an island, because if you want to cut food on it or put stuff on it, it's not high enough. And you're bending over. Now, that's for me. I'm basically 6 foot or right around it. The older you get, you end up going lower instead of being 6 foot anymore. So maybe I'm a little shy of that now. But the girls are all 5'6", 5'5". Nia's 5'8" or 9", or I don't know. Anyway, anybody that's cooking in here, as far as the girls, they're a little bit shorter, and maybe that being down a little lower, they can still use it as an island. But anyway, I'm going to try to put legs on this. It's going to be so heavy. But it will be movable. If we want to pick it up and move it up against the counter or something like that, it'll be a little bit more flexible if we needed to create room. Whereas if it was tied to these cabinets, we wouldn't really be able to we wouldn't just be able to pick it up because the cabinets would have dishes in them and stuff. Valentina wants me to try to see if I can get these cabinets to go in the bathrooms and replace these cabinets, because these are junking out already and we haven't even installed them. But I don't think it's going to work because the door, when it opens, is going to get really close to here. So it can't come out. These sinks are made to fit in this. So I would have to get creative and create something, because the top's too big, and I would have to also ruin the top drawer, because these are just faux doors. They just look like a drawer, but they're not. So I could put one here and it might work. It would stick out pretty far. Probably all the way out to here at least. So, but I can't even get that in there now to see. Oh, lots of things going on. I wasn't here. The plumber swung by and he couldn't get in because the doors were locked. I didn't know I wasn't coming out yesterday until yesterday morning, and I just didn't feel well. I said, I'm not going out. But then I got a hold of the plumber, and then he swung by. He saw some outdoor stuff that I need done. And then the electrician, now all of a sudden, he was needing work, and now I guess it's warming up in there now. They're getting busy, so now I'm going to have to fight for them again instead of this whole time they were readily available. I think I showed you guys this. The cord is going up and down. That's how they put the plug, and so that ends up keeping the oven off of the wall. If they would have rotated the plug and it would have plugged in horizontal, there's a spot all the way along, a recessed spot all the way along the inside, the bottom part of the oven that the cord could fit, and then this would be able to fit up against the wall. So when they come back out, I've asked them if they can switch to turn it sideways. They said they'll look when they get here. They'll come out sometime. So that would be nice if they can fix that. Valentina started painting these. These are our end caps, and now we might not even need them. We spend $30 a piece on them based on what we thought was going to be our setup, and now we might not even need them. I think I'm going to be able to return this paper. I bought this paper to be able to walk on so people wouldn't get this all muddy and dirty, but no matter how much I cover it, the floor, people are stepping on it. The delivery guys just step all over it. I tell them stay on the cardboard, and they say okay, and then they step all over the floor. And then I had this left over from the chimney. I already had one of these that came with the stove, and I didn't know what it was for. And then part of this also came with another piece of the pipe that I bought, so I didn't need all this. So I'm going to be able to return that, and I'm going to be able to return that. Basically, I'm at an impasse right now. We took some stuff back to this store called Home Outlet. They're a chain, but I don't know if they're only an East Coast thing or if they're everywhere. I don't remember seeing them out on the West Coast. And we exchanged some stuff they were willing to take back. They were not willing to take back our farm sink, But they did take back our faucets and stuff like that, a couple of things, and doorknobs. So we exchanged them and we bought some more stuff because we wanted to switch everything to black. So, yeah. And what else? I'm just trying to touch bases on everything that we've done. I have some wood to put on flooring if I want, but I'm kind of at a spot where I'm kind of stuck and not really knowing what I want to do. What's going to be my next step. Plumber and electrician really need to come out and start doing things and hook things up, and that way I can get everything locked in. I've shimmed this, I've put everything where it goes, but if he moves it around, then I gotta play with it again and put it all back. Same thing with this oven. I would be able to land all this and secure it all the way I want, and the whole outside would be done, but the oven, I want it fixed. And just the plumbing and lighting everywhere else. So I have the well and plumbing and electrician need to work together, or we all work together, or tell me how to do it and I'll do it, but we need to run wire and plumbing from there to the house because my pipes are down there, and then probably electrical around the outside of the house and up to the exterior box. And then I have this to go out too as well that I need to run plumbing to the septic. And I'm trying to think ahead because we're going to be running probably power and water down to the end of the property at some day. That's very expensive and it's not necessary right now. So don't necessarily want to do that. However, while this is exposed, it would be nice to go ahead and run whatever I need to, at least this pad, and then cap it off there so that when I need to run something, I don't have to start digging in here again and hopefully not hit pipes and break them and everything, you know. Bring it down here and then I can run from there. So I'm trying to think ahead about some things, but I probably just can't account for everything that's going to ever happen or any thought that we have. And then on top of that too, the well going the other direction, we need plumbing and electrical going that way for the RVs that are going to be up there that all the kids are staying in. I talk about it too much, but the RV thing has got codes and regulations that we're supposed to follow, but we're learning that not everybody does that here. And we came here for freedom. We came here to be able to do what we want with our land. And I'm finding there's kind of two-way talking here where the county tells you one thing the way you're supposed to do it, and then a lot of people do it however they want to do it. When I came here, I was really trying to follow the rules and didn't want to stir up any problems and do, whatever. But at the same time, in some ways, it's not practical. All the codes and stuff, they make sense. Things that go to the house, almost everything that you're required to do makes sense. But things like you're not allowed to have more than one RV on your property and things like that even makes sense. I don't want somebody putting a bunch of RVs and making a campground out of their place and have a bunch of junkers. However, it is their right. I mean, it's their property, but it is nice to have that regulation. Well, we did pay to have the front corner surveyed off as an acre, so that actually can have its own RV, and we can have another RV here. So there's certain things we need to run that probably not going to be exactly to code, and I don't want to fight all the regulations and stuff, and I don't think it's going to be a difficult thing just running pedestals with hookups for water and power. Then we're going to come up with some other system for dumping septic. They're going to have tanks that they're going to use, and then we'll dump it into our system. And this system is built for a 3-bedroom. So 1 bedroom ours and 1 bedroom each RV, so it's still legal in that regard. I also need to get to a point where I put this retaining wall in, get this flattened correctly. We still need to put the deck here and the deck out back. Roger swung by a couple days ago when we were out here, and he was ready to start putting the deck in. He's anxious to do that, it seems, but it's not a priority for me yet. I want to get pretty much everything I can done inside, and then I can start working on the outside. All right, I've been taking you guys through a lot of talking, but it's amazing, like when you don't film for a couple days, to kind of catch up and show everything that's going on. So one thing I did, because it rained this weekend, a couple days ago, and we're going to start getting more rain, is this was pretty much just red dirt, and anybody that parked out here or walked through here was tracking this in all through the house. So I took some of this Crusher Run and put it here, and now it's going to be gray stuff that gets tracked in, not red, but it'll not stick to your feet. So by the time you get there, hopefully it's kind of off instead of having this red mud. And then this farm sink that they wouldn't take back, I'm going to put it under the house. I don't know if you guys remember, but I do have my 6 mil plastic down there, one strip of it at the end underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down there for the next house or something that we do down the road. So we'll have that. That's going to be the first thing I do. It's kind of heavy and hard to hold while you're bent over and trying to walk the whole length of the house. So I'm going to go get the tractor and at least put it in the scoop and take it down so I don't have to carry it all the way. But anyway, we'll get that out of the truck because it's been in the truck for a few days. Well, today I didn't show you guys much of anything because I didn't do much of anything. But anyway, it's a little after 3 o'clock. Plumber came out and gave me a list of stuff to buy. And he supposedly, in 2 days of work, can get everything done, he said. I think that's if everything went perfect. I'm not banking on it, but 3 days of work would be amazing. I did take the tractor. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, and I ditched all the way out here to the edge and down through the back. That's where the 10 gauge wire is going to go from the well pump to the back of the house to the exterior box and meter. Also, the electrician was not supposed to be here until Saturday, and he just texted me and said he had a cancellation. Can he come tomorrow? So they'll be here. So I don't see myself getting a lot done, like me doing stuff, because there's going to be a plumber and an electrician in here tomorrow probably. But I'll get to see them get a lot of stuff done. So I've got a list of stuff I have to buy. And there is a plumbing store here near where I live. Now, I usually go to Home Depot for everything, but when a plumber or electrician start requiring and requesting things, their terms and the things they write down, and they have it all in their head. They know exactly what they're writing, what they're saying, and I'm trying to figure out what are they saying on here. So to go to Home Depot, I can be there for hours and trying to figure out, and the person who's helping me is like, well, I don't know, what do they want, this or this? But there's another plumbing store specifically, and I did this before. I just took them the list. They read down through the list, and they knew exactly what the guy was asking for. And they just put it all together, loaded it in my car, and charged me. And I know I'm probably paying a little bit of a premium price for that, but it's also saving me a headache. I'm not having to get so stressed out about finding all the right things, because I tried to do that before for the plumber, and that was one reason why it took months to get him out here, because I was trying to figure out what did he mean by this, what did he mean by this, and I was at Home Depot, and the Home Depot person didn't understand what he meant. I went to this other store, gave him the list, and boom, it was done. So it just saves a lot of headache and just gets it done. So anyway, I had to say the plumber was in here and he was looking at things. He's like, wow, I really like the style. I like all the stuff. He loved the butcher block. He loved the shelves. And he was walking by and he's like, that bottom shelf is not flat, not straight, not level. I'm like, he's like, it's my plumber's eye. He's like, I could be wrong, but I think it is off. He's like, all your other ones, they look on, but that one looks off. Sure enough, I don't know how it happened, but it's off. And it's off that much, which is actually quite generous. I'm going to have to probably fix it. I don't know if it'll bother us or not. But when you pick up the level, it makes it look pretty bad. All right, back to work. Got a couple things here to pull together. And I have 3 things I'm returning to Home Depot so I can get some money back and put toward the next thing I need.